Okay, so here's my setup for using liquid watercolors. These are the liquid watercolors, and they are kept in the empty space in that white cabinet right there. That's where they're going to be. So when I use liquid watercolors with a class, I put 2 of this palette and 2 of this palette at each table that students will be at. So if it's 3rd grade, then I'll put all 8 of these and all 8 of these out. This has red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then this has magenta and brown. I find those are the colors they need, and when we use liquid watercolor, it's usually in a project where we're not mixing colors at all. If the students do not follow instructions and they do mix colors, you might have to refresh the cup. So you just take it, dump it out, waste that paint, oh well, and then we refill it. So the way I fill the liquid watercolor is, I know it looks gross, but I put about half of this amount of water in, and then I take the bottle of watercolor and I fill it the rest of that way. So it's just a little bit of paint. It goes a pretty long way. And this is where we keep the paint. So I'm over at the end of the class, the very last cabinet. These are all liquid watercolors. So this would be the yellow. It says so right there, yellow. And you just squirt it in. It's pretty much in rainbow order so that you can figure it out. Down here I've got my magenta and my brown. You can figure out where the colors are, and right over here is violet if you need to refill them, or if they get really muddied and you have to fix that. Okay, so that's the last cabinet in the classroom. Let's go back over here. So usually I will, before class starts, put the palettes out and take the lids off of each of them, and then just put the lids in a pile over here. If I have a helper, which I usually have, they can help me with that. It takes a little bit of time to take all those lids off. Yes, your hands will get a little bit stained. It does wash off if you wash it immediately. I did not wash mine immediately. So this is how I deal with liquid watercolor. I put cups of water, these little cups of water, over by the sink. And the students get their own cup of water, and then as their water gets muddy, they can refresh their water whenever they want. They can rinse it out. They're also going to get their own brushes. So they're going to dip their brush into their color. I'm going to get some orange that we can sample this. They're going to dip their brush into their water, and they're going to carefully wipe the brush on the edge of their cup. That way it's not dripping water. They're going to then dip it into their single color, and then again just wipe a little bit on the edge. They can then use that to paint. Now the nice thing about liquid watercolor is that the colors are so rich. They're really, really beautiful. As always, the students know this, but we never push the brush. We only ever pull the bristles or pull the bristles, and we don't scribble like this, because I say it gives the brush a bad hairdo. If it's got a bad hairdo, it means we didn't use it correctly. When they want a lighter color with liquid watercolor, they just get a little bit more water and spread that water into it. When they want a darker color, they can blot out their water and then just get more of the pigment, more of that color, and it'll get them a richer, darker color. So that's true with all of the liquid watercolors. Once their water starts getting kind of dark or colors are mixing in it, they definitely should clean out that water, because every time they put their brush into one of the colors, they're contaminating it a little bit. It's easy to contaminate the yellows. Those will be probably the ones you'll have to refresh, if you have to refresh any. When the class is over, I usually take as many as I personally can, but some of the students can. Some of the 3rd graders maybe can carefully carry them back to this back counter, and then we just lay them all out carefully, and either I or my helper, if I have a helper, goes through as quickly as possible. If it's me, then I wait till after they leave and I just try to get those lids on as quickly as possible, popping those lids on I'm not yet comfortable with letting 3rd grade put their own lids on, but I would let older grades, maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, put their own lids on. These little guys that only have 2, they can get stacked kind of squish squash like that, and then the others stack very nicely, and then they go back into the white cabinet. So that's a little overview of the liquid watercolors. I always tell the students, if you can lift up your page and the paint runs, like I'm gonna get a little run right here like this, then you've used too much water. They are more than welcome to use paper towels to blot a little bit, and especially encouraged to use the paper towel to blot their brush off so that they're not dripping paint or getting way too much water and paint all over the place. When they're done with any project that involves paint, they carry them over and they set them neatly on whatever the designated dry rack. Today's designated dry rack was that red one right there. Okay, so those are the instructions on how I run a class with liquid watercolor, the procedures I use with liquid watercolor. I hope it goes well for you.